Hello Stampers, my name is Juanette and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel, Juanette's Paper Crafts. I sell the products I feature here in this video tutorial. I would love to have you shop with me at juanettehewitt.stampinup.net or join my team and become a demonstrator yourself. Today we are going to make these cute little Halloween ribbon slider cards. I am featuring the Boo to You and the Monster Bash suite from Stampin' Up! The suite is on page 53 of the holiday catalog. We are going to be using the Designer Series paper, the Stylish Scroll embossing folder. We are going to be using the Wonderful Wicked stamp set and die. The Designer Series paper I chose was the spiderweb one. Here's another look at the cards we're going to be making. I love how they slide in and out and the ribbon is hidden. So what I have used is Highland Heather ribbon, which was part of the celebration, but you could use any ribbon that you would want. Here's the embossing folder, and the nice thing about this, it can be used any time of the year. The die was Wicked dies. And I'm going to show you how I got that color effect there. And then those are some of the enamel embellishments, but I believe I didn't end up using them. So you're going to start out with a piece of basic black cardstock, 8.5 by 11. You are going to cut it in half. So you end up at a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. You're going to score down the center at 4.25. This is your standard A4 card base. You're going to fold it and burnish it. Now we're going to alter it just a tiny bit. On one end, you are going to score a 1/4 inch from the end. Either using your Stampin' Up! Score or your scoreboard. Then on the other side, you are going to cut off a 1/4 inch from the other end. Now apply 1/8 inch double-sided tape right along that scored area. And then also 1/8 of an inch tape right along the top. Fold over your little flap. Remove. The release paper, making sure that the little flap is folded in, and fold the right hand side of the card over, and this will make your pocket. Now we're going to take our trimmer and trim off 1/4 inch off of the open end of the pocket. This is so that the insert will stick out a little bit and allow for the bowl and card to fit into a standard size envelope. Now this is how I made the colors for the die Wicked. I started out with Granny Apple Green on just some white cardstock. And you're going to put quite a bit on there so that it saturates the paper. And one thing I do is I label my markers in a bigger font because it's difficult for me to see them. Then this is the dark Highland Heather. And it really doesn't matter if they aren't exactly even. And then this is Pumpkin Pie. So then take your Wicked die, and what I did is I did it kind of kitty corner and used the Big Shot and cut it out. Then I took 2 pieces of black cardstock together and applied that one piece over the top and some Wink of Stella. Now we are going to stamp the inside of our insert. And as you can see at the bottom of the frame there, it said that the piece of black cardstock was 3 7/8 by 5. I am using the Happy Halloween from Wonderful Wicked, and I'm using our new ink, the Silvery Shimmer, that's in the holiday catalog. Then I took the spider web from that same stamp set and stamped some spider webs all over and around that piece of cardstock. This ink tends to stay a little bit wetter than other inks, so make sure that you either use your heat tool to dry it off or let it sit for a while. Now to make the embellishment with the spider, I took a 2-inch circle die and cut out some black cardstock, then took the spider, used that silver ink again, and stamped it twice onto that black circle. Now, many of you know that I work in California, but live in Arizona. It's a long story. I commute back and forth. But sometimes when I'm creating things in California, I don't have the supplies that I have in Arizona. So to make my own silver cardstock, I took some of that ink, just put it on some white cardstock, and I had silver cardstock. Now, you will apply some liquid glue onto your designer series paper and put it on the front of your pocket, aligning it so that you have about 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. Now Stampin' Up! Has black dimensionals now. I took 4 of them and applied them to that silver cardstock that I had made, just to give it a little bit of a dimension. And I apologize, but the black cardstock is 1 3/4. The silver cardstock is 2 inches. Now take a ruler and measure the middle of your top pocket. Since it's 4 inches, you will put a mark at about 2 inches. Then take your hole punch. You could use a crocodile, a small circle die, or a punch like this, and punch out a hole. Now I know it looks like I'm putting that in upside down, but this is the way you want to do it. You will put in the insert inside the pocket, mark off where you want the punch to go. Then as you turn it around and punch out that little hole, you will see that it will all make sense in a little bit. So you're going to put the insert in the pocket and line up both of those holes. Then take your ribbon, whatever color you choose, thread it through both of the holes with the insert inside and tie a bow. This will be your mechanism that will slide the insert in and out. Trim off whatever ribbon you don't use. So as you can see, that slides in and out quite nicely now. Now I took about an 8.5 inch piece of ribbon, glued it to the front of the card, wrapped it around to the back using double-sided tape, and stuck it down. It does not matter that it doesn't meet, because that is going to be covered up. Now I applied double-sided tape to 3 of the sides of the back piece that had been embossed. And what you're going to do is apply that over the back of the card, making sure that the ribbon that pulls in and out is not covered up by any tape or glue, if that's what you decide to use. It will then make it easy for the insert to slide in and out. Now this is just what I did for decoration. I took the twinkle punch and punched out 2 pumpkin pie moons, added wink of Stella to the top of them, and then applied that over that ribbon, covering up where the hole was. But you want to make sure that you don't cover up the mechanism. That's why I use dimensionals. There's one on each side of the ribbon, but it does cover up the ribbon. Then I took liquid glue and applied it to the back of the die cut there. Finagled with it a little bit. And as you can see, that liquid glue is white, but when it dries, it is clear. Then I took the spider that I had cut out, and I even added a little pumpkin pie rhinestone in the middle of it to make it look almost like a black widow. Then, as with all my projects, I added Created by Juanette to the back of the card. And that is our Halloween slider card. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you are able to make this card. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me or write something in the comment section, and I will try to help you. Thank you so much. Goodbye.